Welcome back to the 19th hole, everybody. Jake here, as always, joined by my friends Mike and Keith. This week, we are going to be breaking down the 2026 PGA Championship, which is being hosted at Aronimink Golf Club in Newton Square, Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Did you want one of us to spell it?
I had one of those moments where it was like when we were trying to figure out before the preview show, which everybody should go check out if you haven't, by the way. Going to cover some different things that we covered today, but where we were like, it's Aronimink. No, it's Mink. Are we sure? Are we positive? And we were just going back and forth on it. And I had that moment in my head right now where I was like, wait, am I right? Is there an N? But I am. It's Aronimink Golf Club in Newton Square, Pennsylvania. And guys, we're going to break down everything. We've got some fun stuff planned for later in the show as well. But before we start, as always, want to make sure that I give a plug to the IBT Golf family. The IBT Golf family is our way to gain access to chatting with our analysts, our memorabilia giveaways, as well as our full betting cards. Our free membership gains you access to the chats, memorabilia giveaways, and contests, such as our PGA One and Done contest, where after the major, we will start providing more updates with that one. It is getting close at the top. But with the paid membership for $3.99 per month or $36 for the year, you gain access to our full weekly betting model as well as our full betting cards. That was great for anybody who followed last week. Every single prop bet that I placed hit. So we had a great week over there. So over 65 units positive for the year. So I want to keep that trending in the right direction. But most importantly, you don't just get access to the golf family. You get access to our football family, racing family, and entertainment family. Another place where I've been absolutely on fire on those calls over on Call Sheet. But enough bragging about myself. Want to brag a little bit about the channel as well. Make sure you guys subscribe to the 19th hole as well as the In Between Media channel, since we now have our own separate channel. Make sure you lock in and get subscribed over here as well. And if you're interested in joining the golf family, you can join for free at in-betweenmedia.com/chat or with the link in the episode description. That was a lot of words. I've talked a lot. I'm going to give myself the news intro so that we can get ready to talk about last week's golf. Today is the first time I noticed how bad whoever is in that bunker, how bad he chunked that shot. But anyway,
maybe it was a chunk and run. You don't know.
That's fair. That's at least a fair point. But guys, did you know who Yurav Premlall was?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Would you be surprised to hear that he won by 14 strokes this past week?
I was surprised to hear that we were putting it in the same conversation as Tiger Woods' 15-stroke U.S. Open win, as if they were somehow comparable.
I get that it's not, but a 14-stroke, when you double the score under par of the next closest guy to you, it's going to come up in a conversation. To be a 22-year-old player who's outside the top, 500 in the official world golf ranking, to open up with a 70, just a pedestrian 70. He's sitting in 30 something place, like not near the top of the leaderboard, really. Sean Norris, the runner up in the event, started with a 64, but to then follow that up with 64, 63, 63 is pretty damn impressive. I don't care who you are.
I mean, if you can't break 60 all 4 rounds, I don't really want to hear about it. So
it's a fair criticism, but I mean, he gained 25 and a quarter strokes on the
40
field.
on his front 9, like Tiger at Augusta.
Yeah.
It's just an absurd performance. And again, want to shout out some of the lesser known names in golf. So I had to make sure that we talk about it. But
those guys go deep too. Like, it is very rare to see somebody even 4 or 5 shots ahead on the mini tours because it is just a freaking sprint.
It's always been like that. I know, Keith, you've been around these parts of the game a lot closer than Jake and I have, but it's always been like that. I mean, I remember growing up in high school, and when some of the guys ahead of you were starting to get through college and get into those tours, and it was like, if you don't go out, what was it back? Was it web.com? Was it right? Whatever it was. It was like, if you're not out there shooting 65 on whatever setup, 65 every single day, you will not sniff a dollar. And we had guys a couple years ago. I mean, I know Kristoffer, what was his name? I mean, you got multiple guys shooting in the 50s in that event in Colombia a couple years ago. Like, unbelievable numbers. You have to learn. I mean, I think about my perspective on this has changed over the years. As a young player, you need to learn how to go low. And I don't care how you play the golf course, what tees you play from. You got to learn how to fill it up. And you don't do that by playing 7,200 yards as a 16-year-old, seeing if you can hang on for dear life. Keith, you're nodding. What do you think about that?
I mean, to be a Vaughn Taylor of the world, shout out to Vaughn Taylor, who I have one of his putters right now that, is a guy that made a great career, just kind of doing what we're talking the inverse of, where he was one of those guys that, top 20, stayed top 125 every year and just kept retaining his card, won like 15 million, like good living. But you can't get there anymore doing that. Like, you could maybe have a PGA career as that type of player, but to your point, you got to beat people's heads in to get there. I mean, like we're seeing it with Alex Fitzpatrick right now, that this is a guy that people are mocking him, saying he didn't deserve to be, on the PGA Tour because he won, God forbid, he won a team event with his brother, and he's gone out and finished 9th and 5th in 2 of the stronger field events that they've had all season. And I think that's the biggest thing that people don't understand about the PGA Tour is that, yes, there is a wide disparity from like those top 5-10 players and everybody else. But man, from like player number 20 to player number 800, from day to day, it's not much of a difference. And these guys are fighting for their livelihood. You don't make a great living even on the Corn Ferry and stuff, because you have to pay for all your travel expenses. Like all that is included. And if you have family, wife and kids and stuff, like you're not be able to buy groceries if you don't, make the cut and get paid. Because again, if you don't make a cut, that is a negative for the week. That means you paid for your hotel, your airfare, your gas, whatever, and you're getting nothing for the week. It's a grind, man, and these guys are just so freaking good.
I know. Case in point.
Yeah, the worst guy that's a professional golfer would whoop us.
I try to explain that with like oftentimes with average playing companions, and I say I don't think you understand the astronomical gap between a scratch country club golfer and the worst of the professional mini tour players. Astronomical gap.
Nothing insults me more when somebody will see me have a really good round, like, man, you should play on tour. It's like, dude, I don't have a chance. I said they would destroy me.
It happens with my friends all the time.
Past my drives, like literally.
I played on Saturday evening, just 9 holes, went out. My wife just rode in the cart with me while I played just this local course to us. And I'm texting, like, I have a golf trip coming up in about a month. And, I was talking about the round. I'm like, I'm 2 under through 4. They're like, yeah, right. We see you play with us. And it's like, yeah, I'm playing a 5,500 yard par 71 at my hometown. And the course that we play on this trip every year is 7,200 yard. It's a course rating of 77.
Sure, you're getting a lot of rest and relaxation tour on that trip. And
I'm also
just sober golf.
Yeah, 0% sober when we're playing out there on the trip. And it's like, the level of competition, the courses that you play on, like all of that matters. But I know guys who have who are like a +4 handicap, who, if they tried to play tour courses against tour players, would miss the cut and be DFL shooting 89 on a 6,800 yard professional layout. It's just not the same game as we
sign
talked
up for your state open. I've played in several Georgia Opens, which that is an event that is open to both professionals and amateurs. And I'm telling you, you will realize, because again, these are not the guys you're going to see on the Corn Ferry Tour or PGA Tour. Like there might be a sprinkle of guys that or, maybe don't have status at that moment, but these are mostly really good local professional players that are on many tours. And again, you're talking about 18 to 24 under for the 4 days is going to win the tournament at very difficult golf courses. Yeah, I played in 3 Georgia Opens and was like, nah, I'm not doing that again.
Speaking of the grinders, the guys who are out there every single day, every single week, for every single year, Father Time, the saying is Father Time remains undefeated. Brandt Snedeker beat Father Time this past weekend by taking home the One Flight Myrtle Beach Classic. Not only did he get the prize, winning a PGA Tour event's cool and all, he gets 5 free hours of PGA time from making the cut at the event. Everybody did. Shout out Ryan Ruffles. I mean, you're Jason Day's friend. I don't think you really need to use the One Flight PJ as much as Jason Day would probably let you use one of his. But I mean,
gas is expensive right now, pro.
True. True. If we do the math on that, it's actually probably made more money in the flight hours that he gets versus his actual check. Talking about Ryan Ruffles, not talking about Brandt Snedeker here, but 18 under par, first win on the PGA Tour since 2018. Last time that I can really remember he was in contention since 2018. Like, I'm sure there's some time.
He's got a Valspar this year. He was on the top page.
He was right there
down the stretch.
He was, yeah.
This shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. Brandt Snedeker has been playing.
Go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
No, he's been playing great golf on the year, and he's been there. And I think we talked about him, I think, during the Zurich, and it was like, he's got the short game wizardry. And I just think this is hilarious because these alt field events, this is the exact opposite of the thing that you want to have happen.
Right.
You want a 46-year-old
young stars.
You want to build your young stars, getting all of your talent out of the field for the weekend. And Brandt Snedeker bridges himself to the Champions Tour by securing 2 years of PGA Tour events. Not what they wanted to have happen.
I mean, this is why you could argue that this system is a huge gift to guys like Brandt Snedeker, who have already made so much money because they were, in the Tiger era, like literally when golf purses just exploded. And now you're giving them what is a big payday. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure Brandt hadn't cashed a check like that in quite some time, even for a secondary event. And I love it, man. Like, I think this is what makes golf great is this guy does not have the talent of probably 90% of the guys in the field. But you know what he does have? Experience, grit, like the ability to get things done. And anytime I hear Brandt Snedeker, I have to tell this quick story of when I lived in St. Simons as an assistant golf professional. Snedeker lived down there. And I don't remember what year it was. It was like 06 or 07. He had the lead at Augusta on Sunday. And unfortunately, he did pretty much collapse on Sunday, played really bad. It happens, right? My buddy, who is a guy that was in his 50s at this time, we were at dinner at Crab Trap, and Snedeker's over having his dinner, and Roger walks right on over there, and you see them kind of talking, and you just see kind of Snedeker's face go down, and Roger comes walking back, and I go, what the hell did you just say to him? He goes, I just told him that it was a tough break. I really hated to see him choke away the green jacket on Sunday. I'm like, you did not just say that.
That's brutal.
He goes, oh, yeah, I did. I'm like, you're an asshole. Just what is wrong with people? It's okay to go up to somebody and say, man, I was pulling for you. Probably shouldn't say, hey, hated to see you choke away the lead at Augusta.
Hate that you blew it.
Yeah, way to go.
But yeah, I mean, Brandt Snedeker's made $43 million just in winnings in his career.
720 to golf.
720,000 of that did come from this event, but
43 million. Is he going to pick himself for the players? For the U.S. President's Cup.
No.
Maybe it'll make the event more fair because it's like the opposite Ryder, the Bizarro for the Seinfeld Superman fans out there, Ryder Cup, where we beat the internationals brains in. And I look at those international teams the last few years and have thought every year going into it, man, this is going to catch up with us eventually. These are like deep teams now. It's going to be interesting to see, though. He shut that down to his credit. They asked him and he said, no, definitely not considering myself.
Yeah, I mean, he won with your stereotypical old man golf. He hit it straight. He was 74th in the field in driving distance, lost strokes off the tee, but finished 18th in strokes gained approach, 8th around the green, 4th in putting.
Dude can roll the eyes out, man, when he gets hot. He's always had that ability. He makes everything. Got a weird stroke, too, a pop stroke.
Yeah, just fun to see. Obviously, like Mike said, not probably what the PGA Tour planned for these events to look like, but I mean, they probably
we're going to talk about it in the next bit here, though.
Oh, what? The most fun leaderboard that we had all year in a signature event?
If you ask the PGA Tour, though, what most fun leaderboard looks like, it does not look like Kristoffer Reitan, Alex Fitzpatrick, and whoever else was up there.
Ricky
Fowler, those sunglasses. God almighty, dude.
So here's the thing. And I say this sarcastically, like the PGA Tour should just be shaking in its boots right now after these two tournaments back to back. Because for some reason, the golf media thinks that this should be some kind of produced dramatic outcome every single week with the stars always performing. And Keith, you were kind of going there. Like, this is what we love about golf, is the range of outcomes that exist every time you tee it up. And for the fact that you had, first of all, you have Brandt Snedeker dusting all these 20-somethings, and then you have Reitan and Fitzpatrick, two guys who have no business. When we talked about Quail Hollow being big boy golf, these guys have no business competing at this level on this stage, but that's golf. And if the PGA Tour can't embrace that, then this is going to become the WWE pretty quickly.
Hey, now don't be taking shots at my WWE.
I know you're a wrestling guy.
I will say,
not even take shots.
I don't remember which show it was on, but I did throw Reitan's name out there because of the history of longer hitters being successful at this event. But
which he can do. Yeah,
he at 15th in the field in driving distance, average driving distance of basically 319 yards. But really he was second in the field in putting. That's really what separated him from the rest.
He didn't miss a putt, I believe, inside 11 feet, they said, right? Or something ridiculous.
Well, that depends. Do you count the controversy of him tapping his ball with his putter and it rested back in the same spot so he didn't get charged?
Oh, yeah.
Penalty?
I thought they changed that rule anyway, though.
No, they changed it. As long as you correct it by
quote unquote, yeah.
Yeah, as long as you remark it, it's fine.
My hot take on putts: if your club face touches the ball, it's a putt.
Did his club face touch the ball? I have no idea. Did it touch the ball?
On video review, he definitely touched the ball with his putter. I'm not talking like a Zach Johnson who has a hilarious amount of accidentally hitting his golf ball.
It's at least 3 times.
Yeah, it's more than that. I think it's like 10 at this point. We're not talking about like he touched it, but I mean, like you said, we talked about it. Big boy golf. You have to play every facet of the game successfully to compete at a place like Quail Hollow. He was 5th off the tee, 9th on approach, 35th around the green, which doesn't look phenomenal. But then you realize, he also was 4th in greens and regulation, so it wasn't really missing that many greens. He was still 10th in scrambling.
It's hard to have a high percentage of scrambling when you're not missing very many greens, because obviously if you miss 1 of 3, that's 66%.
Exactly.
He had 21 scrambling attempts and converted 15 of them.
That's impressive. On that golf course, that is outrageous that he only missed 21 greens.
And, I again, any given Sunday, it's commonly a football quote, but it's very much a Sunday on a golf course quote. Like, Ricky comes out and shoots a 65 to get himself into contention. 1 or 2 breaks go his way. He gets
he choked. That pissed me off so bad.
He did. I'm happy that the winning score ended up being 15 under, because when he bogeyed 18 from the middle of the fairway
and missed the putt the hole before. I mean, he literally it was so funny when he hit one of the best iron shots you'll ever see from like 200 yards. He was going like, whoa, when it was rolling to 6 feet. Little did I know he was going to make an awful stroke and miss it. So that's why he was going, whoa, he's like, oh, crap, I really wanted a tap in here. And then again, it hit an absolute beautiful drive on 18 and just flubbed his approach, which maybe that's good for Fowler moving forward, that he got back into it and maybe he can overcome it. But it reminds me all the time that these guys are all so good until they can smell that wind, man. And the minute it's real, it's amazing how many of these guys are just like me or you on a, 20
they're
and
human
20
beings.
Yeah.
Alex Fitzpatrick, the leader going into Sunday, 2 double bogeys on the card.
He battled so hard. I was
mean,
so proud of the way he battled.
Led the field, nearly 9 strokes on approach, led the field on approach, but was just like third.
Not just double bogeys.
Else.
Like
the first one was awful.
Just inexcusable 3 putts.
Or 5 too, right? Wasn't the first?
It was. Yeah. Can we just give a little golf clap though for Jake having the guts to go Alex Fitzpatrick on the preview show for the Truist? I even said Alex Fitzpatrick is not winning this event, but sure, if we want to talk about him.
But
I know, but
if you followed me and bet the prop ladder
plus 320 for top 20, that was easy money. As well as Sung JM. I don't know why people like. Sometimes you just bet, and it's what it said in my notes from the Fantasy 6-Pack betting cheat sheet. I was getting 20-1 for Sung JM to top 5 and 8-1 for him to top 10 at a venue. He's finished 8th or better each of the last 2 times this event was held at Quail Hollow. I didn't have any real reasoning for it other than, look, I know it's not great, but he obviously likes this venue. It's a ball striker's paradise. Yep. Thank goodness he ended up not falling outside the top 5 with that double on 17, because I would have been furious, but they both ended up hitting. And, sometimes I think that you really do have to, in today's betting markets, look at values when you can get them. And it's just somebody is way too overpriced. You have to take it, because there's no way in a 70-player field, Sung JM on that golf course where he's had all that success should be getting 20-1 odds to top 5 and 8-1 odds to top 10.
It's actually a really interesting approach for signature events, these limited fields that go back to the same venue, to just go and like really load up on course history.
My buddy Alan taught me that a couple years ago. You don't
have to beat that many players.
Yep. Yeah. You're talking about a 70-player field versus if you're trying to pick a top 5 in most events, you're 120 to 140 some players.
And they're giving you roughly the same distributions on the board.
Yep.
So
it's been something I've had some success with in the last couple of years.
Yeah,
and I got to give my buddy Alan he called it out when they first started doing these. What was it, 2-3 years ago?
Are we out on, I know you commented on Ricky's sunglasses. At what point can he just stop doing the orange thing?
I wish it was yesterday.
20 years ago.
20 years ago it worked too.
Cool.
As soon as he got rid of the Zac Efron swoop haircut, that's when he should have called it.
Friggin' the Jose Canseco 1994 sunglasses.
I'm so over those sunglasses. Go Ben Griffin route and just rock aviators on the course.
That's what I rock.
I care.
I rock aviators on the golf course.
Don't get me wrong. I wear Oakleys, but they're at least like sporty looking, not like the basic $60 Oakleys that was all of our first pair of Oakleys. When we were
what's sad though is those are probably like $500 Oakleys. I'm sure knowing, but it does make me so pained though, because Fowler, he teased me, man. I really believed when he was making that run, I go, man, with the leaderboard and who was up there, I was like, Cameron made that early double. I was like, man, if he can get in, make that putt on 17, par 18, that might be enough. And then he, of course, not only missed it, he bogeyed 18. Just,
Regardless, we very clearly had a great week of golf. And we have another great week of golf ahead of us. So let's head on over to start breaking down the PGA Championship. All right, we have Aronimink Golf Club this week for the PGA Championship. Mike, you know what to do. Give us a breakdown of Aronimink Golf Club.
Yeah, we'll try to get the corrected version, because a week ago I had a couple of errors in my course prep that I need to take accountability for. Aronimink Golf Club. We have a par 70, 7,400 yard layout. It is going to play long. I mean, a 7,400 yard par 70 is going to play long. The way it's set up is very interesting, right? This is a classic Donald Ross Parkland design, something you see all over the Northeast and Midwest. But it was renovated by Gil Hanse in 2017. And like most of the Donald Ross renovators, they are really trying to get these golf courses back to their roots, right? They're digging up old irrigation plans and course layouts. They're moving greens. And there's a couple of things that between Hanse and Andrew Green, they've really embraced in some of this classic architecture. One is the increased number of bunkers. So instead of going with these big, deep, wide bunkers that you see at places like Riviera or Augusta, you get these clusters of smaller bunkers that really limit the good lives.
Almost like mini pop bunkers in a lot of ways.
Exactly. And not like Pete Dye in the sense that you just get one or two here and there. You'll get like 6 or 7 when you normally would have seen a large bunker. So that's one feature. The other is you get the Hershey kisses, or the hummocks, I think is what the Scottish call them. So instead of even putting bunkers in places, we're just going to put these little mounds, and sure, you can bail out there, but you're going to get uneven lies, downhill, side hill, and some weird things.
Severe into very undulated and massive greens with runoffs. Like, it's a beautiful golf course.
Yeah, and that's the last thing that you see a lot of the Donald Ross renovators do is instead of going like Pinehurst #2 style, these turtle-backed crowned greens, they've gone with these multi-section green complexes that in themselves, a lot of them do have that crown shape to them if you look across the whole complex, but the greens will have 6 or 7 different sections to them. And I'm not going to call it mini golfish, but the way they use spines on these greens is things you don't see in these normal PGA Tour stops. And so my big thing for the golf course this week is going to be how well does the broadcast really embrace the history and the architecture and the uniqueness, because at the end of the day, this is a golf course that we're probably going to see once every 10 years, if even that often. And so I hope they do a good job to bring some of those features to life. But yeah, let's kind of talk through it here, because I'm curious what you guys are excited about. I have a few other nuggets on the golf course that I want to throw in there, but what are you looking forward to?
Donald Ross said, "This is my masterpiece, and I made it better than I thought I did." So, I mean, to have that on your like for Donald Ross, one of the most legendary designers of golf courses in the world, to say that this is his masterpiece. And even when you factor in that it's been renovated, Gil Hanse is very much considered the best renovator when it comes to Donald Ross designs. He's the preferred choice because he very much understands the original intention, doesn't want to change it too much. Obviously, you have to make changes, right? You know, tiger proofing golf courses is very real, and it's still a thing today where they have to make the courses play more difficult just because of what these players can do. But what I'm perhaps most interested to see is, especially with the weather that's in the forecast, right? We're talking about this course. If we were playing this in August like we used to, this course would be very different than what we're going to see. It's only going to break 70 degrees one of the days. There's rain on the forecast. It's going to play soft. It's going to play scoreable, which is not something that we get super frequently in majors. Every once in a while, I'm fine if a signature event or something like that is not a birdie fest. Every once in a while, I'm ecstatic if a major can be a birdie fest. I want to see these guys pulling off some insane shots. And if the course is going to play soft and slow, that's going to give them plenty of opportunities to do so. And it brings distance back into play. You know, distance projects to not be extremely important here, but carry distance is now more important than overall driving distance, because you're probably not going to get as much roll in the fairways, and it's still going to play like an extremely hard golf course. The rough, it's not the deepest rough. It's not the craziest rough in the world, 3.5 to 4 inches. So still nothing fun to play out of. 175 bunkers that are going to come into play. It's a parkland course, so you have trees that could potentially interfere with you. You know, extremely large greens, but as we mentioned, 6-7 different potential landing areas, or you land in one and you end up 6 over. And 8,300 square foot greens. They're the second largest on tour. Small comparative fairways, like, it's going to be just so different than most of what we've gotten this year from the PGA Tour. We're not getting it's not a 7,700 yard straightforward hit it, go hit it again type of course. Like, you're truly going to have to think through every shot. You're going to have to be a creative ball striker and shot shaper to be successful here. And I'm just excited for the fact that we get something like that versus just, all right, I hope somebody can finish 2 under today.
When did they pick this venue? Do you know? Has it been like a decade ago? Like how long?
I would think so. I mean, they're not, I don't think the PGA is quite as aggressive as the USGA as far as how far out
Early.
they book their events, but they have most of the next, I think, 20 PGAs set. So,
because the only reason I ask is I think that, Jake brought up a very good point that this venue should be played in the dead of summer. Like if you want to make this a firm, fair test, which is what would bring every type of golfer into having an equal advantage in doing well at this venue, it can't play soft. And like it was going to play that way compared to August anyway in May. And it's, I brought this up last week. I am worried that you're going to have like the Rorys of the world just bombing it everywhere.
This reeks of 2011 congressional,
yes.
Where like, if Rory won in a landslide and he set the scoring record, but like super wet, difficult golf course, but requires firmness to show its teeth.
Even just a couple of years ago, the PGA Championship at Valhalla.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think so. I had this in the notes overall because obviously I don't remember the exact year that the PGA Championship moved from August to May. I grew up watching.
I think it was
August
19 because Koepka didn't he win the first one in May? I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so I grew up in watching golf in the late 90s and early 2000s when this was an end of summer event.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the 99 PGA Championship at Medina. I went to the 2002 at Hazeltine and the 2009 at Hazeltine, and just like super weird. The outcomes of those two events are super weird.
Keegan?
But this was
one of those Keegan?
No, it was Rich Beam and Y.E. Yang.
I was at saw the Tiger finally get knocked off his perch.
I did. I mean, it was incredible.
I got to watch Martin Kamer win at Whistling Straits in 2013.
I would have cried if I was at 2009.
But what are we saying? We just mentioned 4 PGAs that took place in the Midwest in the early 2000s.
Medina's literally 40 minutes from me.
Yeah,
I play it once a year.
And this cannot happen anymore. And will not happen anymore. So go look at the venues between the US Open and the PGA. There is a single Midwest venue between the two over the next 20 some years, and that's Oakland Hills in Michigan. And they basically have, they being the PGA of America and the USGA have effectively erased major golf from the Midwest. And basically just secluded it to, you get a few in California, you get a handful in the South, and then you get the Northeast. And, I'm like, thank God we get the Ryder Cup at Whistling Straits and at Hazeltine, because
the Midwest would be good for TV viewing too. To me, there's nothing better than when you get, the 2-3 hour later start times,
Also, it's dumb. The weather here is going to be almost exactly what the players are dealing with in Pennsylvania.
I know. I think the issue is that you went from these Midwest clubs couldn't handle having these events in August because it gobbles up. It just gobbles up literally
their
like
revenue.
A third of the golf season.
Yep.
And the memberships don't want to support it. You don't have enough clubs where the members are purely centered on this. And so you don't have a lot of options. But I think it's just, I just looking at the schedules and I'm like, man, we don't have something coming through this area. And, I take that, and even Keith, where you are, like the Southeast doesn't really get much outside of Florida. It's like Texas, Florida, New York, and California. I know these are the big markets.
I mean, in like our defense, like I know that we get East Lake and Augusta every year. So like they used to, go to TPC Sugar because there's a ton of great courses in Georgia that would be awesome major venues. But I understand why they don't. I don't get though where like Alabama, there's so many good golf courses in Alabama, South Carolina, they only go to Kiowa and, RBC obviously at, why am I blanking on it? Where the RBC Heritage is.
Harbortown.
Harbortown. Thank you. God, brain fart.
We all brain farted until Mike saved us.
It is. I don't understand the selection of it. I wish they would do a better job of thinking ahead. And again, I think this would be a wonderful venue if it was firm and fast. But I just worried that it's going to be neutered. And you're going to see guys bombing it off the tee. Now, the one thing that I think also y'all brought up that is very fair is if a player is able to hit the ball accurate off the tee and is saying an elite iron player like a Sepp Straka, an Adam Scott, et cetera, Siwoo Kim, they could get on fire with their approaches, into these massive greens and really, I think, still be able to be in contention, but it's going to be an advantage. Like it is an advantage when you're hitting. There's a reason they've done, like used to it was, do the best players, should they bomb and gouge or not at major venues? Now that's their default setting. They're going to do that. I mean, Tiger and Phil started it, and now it's, to the extreme.
We watched Rory win at Augusta, bombing it and gouging it at Augusta.
Right.
When the best club in his bag 99% of the time is the driver.
Yeah.
And it was his worst club.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very fair point.
But yeah. So as you said, we're looking for, good driving, particularly on the accuracy side of things. Distance certainly doesn't hurt. Carry distance probably going to be a little bit more important than total distance this coming event. Iron play throughout,
125, 200s though, huge. Like, not the 200 play. I know the par threes are 215, I think average, but 8 par fours of less than 450 yards. Like, most major championships now, it's like you have 5 to 8 par fours of 500 plus yards, and they have 8 playing less than 450. It is going to be interesting to see, like, does that change things up? With 2 par fives, it's going to put even more emphasis on those par fours, the short ones. And then again, the par threes being, an average of 215 with these massive greens, they're going to play really tough. And that could be somewhere where, again, a guy like Adam Scott or Cam Young, who's playing par threes, like just at an exceptional rate, could you steal enough, right, by playing the par threes, 5-6 under for the week to make up a difference if you don't, say, take advantage of the 2 par fives or you don't play as well in the par fours? I think there is going to be more avenues to win than your typical major venue, but it's not what is being advertised. And it's not their fault. It's just, unfortunately, the weather and the time of the year they're having the event.
Absolutely. Well, guys, let's start talking about our plays for this week. But before we do, want to give a shout out to Wanna Parlay. Wanna Parlay is a fun competition that connects people, brings the joys of winning, the heartbreaks of competition, and everything in between. If you guys are interested in flexing those parlay legs, you can get up to 1,000 extra money and cash out fast. Make sure you use code IBT when you signing up for the app to get a 100% deposit match up to $250. If you guys are interested for either Android or iOS, you can download it with the link in the episode description. But guys, what do you say we get these clubs twirling and start talking about our plays for the week? So this one was a unanimous pick amongst the squad here. Probably no surprise. The best male American golfer on the planet right now. And Americans have won every year since, what was it, 2015? Last 10 years of American-born PGA champions. But Cam Young, 16-1. I mean, what do we really have to say about Cam Young at this point? I mean, the guy's won twice in the last 5 starts. His worst finish over his last 7 starts is 25th. 4 top 10s outside the wins. He's just a phenomenal golfer. I mean, Mike, Keith, what do you guys got outside of the usual on Cam Young?
I just think this is a good number for Cam Young, to be honest. Like
even with how much it's gone down.
We say all the things we want. Like he's gonna be at the tops of anything any way we want to split it. You can argue that he has as good of a chance to win this as Scottie Scheffler does, and I'm getting him at 5 times the value. So I think it's a good number for a guy that has all the equity as much as anyone right now.
I think it's going to help him. It could hurt him, but I think it's going to help him. He's going to be the heavy crowd favorite. Like you look, he's from, New York, not too far away. You look at the reaction he got at the Ryder Cup, where as that week went on, he just the crowd kept getting more and more behind him. I think that this is going to be Cam Young's like coming out party in terms of like being a real star on the PGA Tour, because we've seen it sort of building momentum where he's just a very likable guy. And I think you're going to see the crowd really heavily behind him this week. And it's, we've seen it with Xander and, Scotty and other, top players where kind of right as they ascended and really got it going, they went and, won majors. I know we asked about Xander, but when he started playing at his highest level, he went out and won 2 majors, in the same season. So Scotty got that first major really quickly. It would not shock me at all. Like, I think Cam Young's going to win one of the last 3 majors. Why not this one?
You convinced me as if I needed much convincing. Again, this was a unanimous selection for the group here. But moving on here, we have Matt Fitzpatrick, 23-1 via DraftKings. Mike, I believe this was your selection.
I didn't, but another guy. You can't argue with the way he's playing golf right now.
I'm dumb. It was me.
I was going to say it wasn't mine, so I was going to say I think it's yours.
It was me, but again, really not a surprise here. When you look at what we talked about being important at this course, especially if distance off the tee isn't going to play as heavy of a factor. I mean, the guy is 3rd in strokes gained total throughout his career in strong and very strong fields, which is exactly what we have this week. He's top 20 birdie or better and bogey avoidance. He the only guy in my model where it's green when you scroll all the way across the model. And I have like 12 stats in play this week. I have a deeper model just to try to get, try to wiggle out some of the variance and add what I think is important. But like the worst stat on paper for him in this field is going to be the putter, which I mean, kind of tends to be one of the worst parts of his game. It really has been, throughout most of this year, even throughout his career. But he is still a career plus putter on bent grass, and he fits all of what we're looking for at this venue. And again, this is just a situation of, much like with Cam Young, I like the number. Getting him at 23-1 in a venue where distance isn't going to play as big of a factor on paper. Yeah. Sign me up.
Just look at the guys. I was going to make this comment about Young, but Young is sandwiched between Rahm and DeChambeau, and then Fitzpatrick is down there below both of them. And it's like, are the books trying to pull a fast one on us here, trying to still get some of that Bryson and Rahm love when they totally bombed out at the Masters? Their league is collapsing. Got Bryson's withdrawing from and I still got to pay 13-1 for Jon Rahm. You look around this range and you're like, I would much rather take Fitzpatrick at twice the value.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just a very straightforward pick.
Fitzpatrick also excels from, again, that 125, 200. That's kind of his bread and butter. That is where he is just so good. And if he finds fairways, which he's an accurate driver, look out.
Exactly. Next up, we're looking at Collin Morikawa. This was another very common name that popped up for the 3 of us here. Mike, I know I saw your notes and I like some of what you wrote there. So why don't you talk to the people a little bit about Morikawa here?
Yeah, I mean, this is another one. 45-1 is a great number on FanDuel. I think he is quite a bit higher. He's 38 on DraftKings right now. What happened earlier in this season when Collin was playing a little inconsistently, but he started slipping down these boards and he got into this auto bet territory. I think it was around 50. And then he went off and he won Pebble at 65 or whatever his number was.
And then we all lost money on him at the Players.
Right. But the pattern is coming back to where he is actually been playing really well. And look, I'm becoming less and less of a Collin as a person fan. But he is doing this where he is falling off the face of the year, slowly coming back up. He's got 4 straight top 10s. I know he had this back injury, but he's doing the Collin things. He is hitting his approach shots with supreme consistency, leading fields in approach, and his putter kind of sucks. And that is his normal game.
That's his MO.
And so when he starts to slip to 45-1, and the PGA Championship has a habit of rewarding multi-time major winners. We don't see
JT, Brooks, Koepka.
We'll get to JT too. Collin fits that bill as a 2-time major winner. That again, it's like
Bill Mickelson won his second, friggin' 10, 15 years after his first.
This is a great number for a guy that knows how to do this, and it's the kind of golf course that if he's a flat precision iron play can neutralize the difficulty on the greens here.
The last PGA Championship that was at a venue under 7,400 yards, Harding Park. Won by Collin Morikawa.
And bent grass is the only surface over the last 12 months that he's gaining strokes per round putting.
He's actually gaining strokes?
Yep, about a quarter stroke per round. It's not
that's impressive.
But for him, it's a ton. So it's a good layout and venue for him for sure. Speaking of JT, perfect parlay.
Did I make a mistake in the preview show saying that he was 25-1? Did I misread that? Did we get a correction?
I think he was at that point. Because I was just reading off I opened DraftKings and was reading off the odds.
Yeah. I was saying it was I was saying last week that it was embarrassing that we had to talk about JT as 25-1 at the PGA. But now I'm getting 50 for a guy that's won 2 PGA championships. And look, JT was hurt this offseason. I believe he had surgery. He is still kind of getting out of his funk a little bit, and he's played really well the last 2 weeks. He did, he shows up at Quail Hollow, place he's always played well, and he finishes T13. And that he has a lot of the intangibles, especially in his short game, to hang at these venues and with this type of field. So for me, my reason to believe is that he typically plays well on this type of golf course, Parkland style, the Donald Ross renovations, and he is second in my model in course history at East Lake, which is probably the strongest comp we have right now as far as a Ross course comparable layout, even though the climate's a little bit different. So JT's another one. We say the PGA is going to reward a guy that's done this before. So a nice number if you're going off the guys down in the teens.
Join Koepka as a 3-time PGA winner. I think that's how many Tiger won too, or did he win 4? I can't remember.
I think Tiger won 5. I could be wrong, but yeah, JT is peaking at the right time. If you look over his 36 rounds ago, he was losing strokes ball striking, losing strokes on approach, losing strokes off the tee. Over his last 8 rounds, gaining nearly a half stroke off the tee, gaining on approach, gaining almost a full stroke swing ball striking around the green, has stayed strong. The putter is still, it's everybody's bugaboo. It seems like on the PGA Tour this year, nobody remembers how to putt, or you're Scotty and you become one of the best putters on the planet after being notoriously bad at it. But I mean, if we need more proof though, that JT is getting right, over 36 rounds ago, his average drive was 299. Over his last 8, nearly 310. So he's getting confidence, really letting it go and really getting the speed back. His ball speed has stayed pretty consistent, but over the last 8, peaking over 178, where it was sitting, low 177 prior. So again, everything is trending in a very good direction for him. And, he has history of playing well on this type of venue, as Mike pointed out. So another really solid play all across the board. Next up here, we have Russell Henley, 55-1. This was like an auto click for me. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, especially when we're talking about distance not coming into play as much, would it surprise you that over his last 36 rounds on long or very long courses, he is second in the field in strokes gained total? This is just a man who knows how to get around a golf course at the end of the day. He's
a dog.
Yeah, literally. He's 5th in strokes gained total on those long, very long courses. The approach buckets that we were talking about, he's 15th in approach proximity from 100 to 150. He's 7th in bogey avoidance. He's 2nd strokes gained total on, like I said, those long, very long courses. Top 20 in good drive percentage, top 20 on the comp courses that I pulled, which does include East Lake amongst other courses. It's just everything is lining up for this to be a very solid event for him. His play around the green has been extremely strong as well. He's 14th around the green. If he does happen to miss something, there's just maybe his 3-putt avoidance is the biggest issue that we're seeing on paper.
But 42nd? That's not bad.
I have him at 91st. You're probably pulling full season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So your full season, I think mine's the last 36 rounds on bent grass.
I'm not worried about Russell Henley's putting.
I'm not either.
Yeah. I just didn't realize that he was as strong around the green as he is in driving accuracy. Like everyone always thinks of him as being
second driving accuracy, first in scrambling. That is a deadly combination. And that's why he's finished top 10 5 of the last 7 majors.
Yeah, but he's also
it doesn't
an elite.
matter what venue it is.
We talked about this earlier. You know, he's an elite ball striker. He's going to hit a ton of greens in regulation, and when he misses, he keeps the rounds on the track. He's only going to have a handful of scrambling opportunities around, and he makes the most of it. So I think that's I love the play.
It reminds me so much of Brian Harman in 2023 at the Open at Royal Liverpool. Like one of my greatest calls ever in predictions, because I just felt like it was a perfect golf course for Brian Harman. It's like what Brian Harman excels at, that golf course was perfectly fitted for. And just, I think it's the same situation here where you have a player who has a very good history. Again, over the last 5 years, he's 9th in strokes gained total at major championships, top 10, 5 of the last 7. And you really need to also look at his top 5 and top 10s. You can get him at plus 680 to top 5 and plus 315 to top 10. I just told you, he finished top 10, 5 of the last 7, and you're getting over 3-1 odds for him to top 10. It's one of my favorite bets this week.
Yep. I love it. Next up, I know it's Tyrrell hat on, so I found a picture of him with his hat off. I just thought that was funny. Going off 59-60 to 1 pending the book here. Keith, I know this was one of your picks here, but I just want to point out he's 7th in my model as well. Like on paper, again, just another guy who fits the course extremely well. He
is overall I'm fading Live guys this week. I think that Mike brought up a great point that it's a mess, right? Like, and I mean, that's serious stuff that they have to worry about. Like, what do they have to do to get back to the PGA Tour or the DP World Tour? You know, this is their livelihood. So, like, I understand that it's not a great situation, but Hatton is also one of the few guys who's excelled in major championships in recent years. Since 2023, 13 major starts. He's finished top 35 10 times, top 27, and he's gotten better in recent major starts, finishing 16th or better 4 of his last 5 majors played, including a T4 last year at the U.S. Open. Obviously, he had a 3rd place finish this year at Augusta. He should excel on a course that, again, is going to challenge players off the tee and on approach. He has a very good record. He's top 10 in the field and strokes gained off the tee and around the greens. And again, his irons have not been as good this season as we've seen in some earlier years, but I trust Hatton. I mean, you look what he did against the field at Augusta. His irons look pretty good there. And he has a record of playing Donald Ross courses pretty well. And I'm talking about major championships. He finished 26th at Pinehurst the last time that they held the U.S. Open there, and he finished 15th at the PGA Championship at Oak Hill. So this is a guy that I really like this week, you know, not only to win, but also he is one of my favorite DFS anchors in cash games this week. 9,100. That is a steal. Like I have little worry that he's not going to make the cut. And as long as he doesn't blow up, which he does do that sometimes, he will lose his lid, if you will.
Quite the drama queen.
Yeah. I mean, my buddy always called him Discount John Rahm, because they both are just like bullies on the golf course with, you know, they're such good ball strikers. They just hit everything, you know, it doesn't matter how tight a window or whatever, but they also will, you know, blow up like a baby if things go the wrong way. But, I really think he's got a great chance to win. The same things I said about Russell Henley. Like, this is as good of a chance as I can think Tyrrell Hatton's going to have to win a major championship, like with a venue that fits his game, as he may have the rest of his career.
100% agree. Speaking of live players who aren't on live anymore, Patrick Reed going off 82 to 1 via DraftKings. My model doesn't necessarily love him a ton. Like, he's still a top 20 player. He's 20th in the model for me this week, but 82 to 1.
Yeah, and I think I tucked him in there because he's got obviously we know he has a fantastic short game, and if you're looking back at the rounds he's got on bent grass,
he's the best bent grass putter.
He's 11th in my model. Parkland golf courses, very difficult golf courses, Gilhance redesigns. Like he's got a lot of the which is one of the ways I took my model this week was because you don't have the course history here. So we got to find enough things, characteristics in other courses or good comp courses. And so he does. That's where I think I'm seeing him pop, is that he has typically played well on these style of golf courses. I don't know exactly what it is, but he has a short game built to win majors, and he just hasn't played a lot of them recently. So, a guy with enough upside, 82 to 1. We're kind of getting to the edge of where I think there's realistically a winner. I know there's a few more guys we're going to talk about here and that we like even a little deeper, but Patrick Reed would not be a surprise.
No, he's got an unbelievable record at Donald Ross courses. Obviously, his first ever win, Sedgefield Country Club, all of those years ago. He finished T18 at Oak Hill just a couple years ago for the PGA Championship. And this has been by far his least, successful major of the four. But it's not a coincidence that one of his best finishes was, again, at a PGA Championship playing under 7,400 yards at Harding Park back in 2020. And he's top 10 in the field in strokes gained around the green and putting. And for what's scary for the field, he's actually been driving the ball very accurate this year. And his irons are as good as they've been since 2018, when, by the way, he won a major championship. Like, there's a lot of things. Like, he's gained strokes in every event this year on approach. And that has not been the case with Patrick Reed's game in recent years. And bent grass greens, if you look at some of his victories, he has won on predominantly bent grass golf courses. And some of those, he literally won the event by just making everything he looked at. And he is one of those players in this field where you can separate yourself because these greens are so massive. You make enough 20, 30 footers, that can be the difference. He is one of those guys in the field that I believe can make enough putts from that distance to make up, what he might lose to a Rory McIlroy off the tee.
Absolutely. Next up, I know, Mike, you were on this pick with me, Kurt Kitayama, 88 to 1.
Yeah. What do you like about him?
We're talking about probably the most underrated ball striker in the field, who's been a weapon off the tee as well. This is a situation where it's a combination of things, right? Like, if the putter or play around the green ends up solid, good things in our favor. If it's anything like, he previously played a PGA Championship that played under 7,400 yards at Oak Hill a few years ago. It was his best major finish of his career. He was T4 in that event. And again, it's a guy who historically has not been a great putter, but has gained strokes over the last year on bent grass surfaces. And yes, the around the green, anything around and on the green is always going to be the question mark with Kitayama. But if he can just get neutral in that aspect, we're talking about a guy who's 12th in the field in carry distance. So he's going to be able to carry distances that a lot of other players aren't doing. He's hitting the driver accurately. He's gained accuracy on the field in 7 of his last 9 events. The only 2 that he didn't were Texas Children Houston Open and the Players, which were, unsurprisingly, his 2 worst finishes of the year. And he's coming off, he had 2 back-to-back top 10 finishes at RBC in the Cadillac, and then a top 20 this past week at the Truist, with his irons peaking at the second highest point of the season behind just his performance at the Genesis, where he finished T2. Like, I said it in my DFS article for Fantasy Alarm last week, like, Kurt Kitayama will win an event this year if the putter and wedges ever cooperate slightly together. It's been like one or the other. Like, he'll have a good week putting where he's terrible with the wedges, or he'll have a great week with the wedges where he just can't putt. If they can just both get to neutral, the rest of his game is strong enough to win a PGA Tour event. No notes?
I'm with you. No,
I'm actually a little upset I don't have him on any of my stuff. I may end up making an edit to maybe my betting or DFS cheat sheet.
Form is excellent. It's the thing, and I put him in there. It's like, but can you find it on the greens, when greens that are 2 or 3 times as nuanced and tricky as what you've been playing?
Yeah, I keep hearing the word tricky is what I keep hearing.
I don't know. It's like it's a hard place to, like, just find it on the greens, but like we said, good iron play can hopefully neutralize some of that.
13th in 3-putt avoidance, one of the best lag putters in the field as well. I will say his approach putting stats are phenomenal. So there's a chance. It's not a big one. He's 88-1, but there is a chance.
Exactly.
Let's fly through these last couple here. We've got a few more long shots that we want to talk about. Akshay at 100-1.
I mean, one of the best putters on tour right now. A guy that has excelled in, if you want to call it less than driver courses. And I think he could play that approach this week where he tries to hit fairways. He's obviously a really good, middle to long iron player. And he's in such good form and he's so good on and around the greens this year that I think getting 100-1 for him was absurd. I'd feel dumb not betting him.
Agreed. We know I love Akshay. You know who else I love? Alex Fitzpatrick, 155-1. I mean, why? If you're at the table at the casino and you're on a heater, you don't leave the heater. Alex Fitzpatrick has been making me money. I'm not leaving the heater. But even if you need a little statistical backing here, obviously doesn't have as many rounds as the other players. We've stressed that every time I talk about him. 4th on approach proximity from 100 to 150 yards. 14th from 150 to 200. Tied for the lead in the field in birdie or better percentage, 24th in bogey avoidance, 10th on approach, 17th in around the green proximity out of the rough and out of short grass. Yeah, I'm going to keep, if you're going to keep giving, I'm probably not going to take him outright, right? I'm probably going to go like top 5, top 10s market here. And maybe, I've wasted $3 in worse ways. I've said that a million times, but I'm just going to keep riding the heater. And it'd be so fun to watch Alex Fitzpatrick outplace Matt. If Matt's not going to win, I want Alex to outperform him. It'd be fun.
He's hitting that high cut, which if it does get soft, that is the easiest drive in the world to find the fairways with, is that big high butter cut that he plays. I mean, all you need to know is right now, and again, it's a small sample size, but he's averaging 311 yards off the tee, hitting 70% of his fairways, 74% green and regulation, and he would rank top 20 in scrambling as well right now on the PGA Tour if he had enough. So, like, I don't know what else you want. You're exactly right. Like, just don't overthink this. Continue to play him. He is, by the way, plus 325 to top 20. That will definitely be on the betting card.
Hammering that one. And then, Mike, you get to wrap up the plays here. Good old Sam Stevens, 240-1.
Yeah, the reset was kind on the Monday before the PGA. Sam Stevens, I don't know, what did he do last week? He finished nearly last. He
did not play well because I had him in one of my PK lineups. A jerk.
Yeah, the Truist. I mean, he was near last place after having a nice little run where he had 4 top 25s in 5 events. Really, above average in all the ball striking categories. I don't know. We're in 240-1 territory, and Sam Stevens certainly has plenty of length to overcome a soft Aronimink Golf Club. Sure, we liked him a couple weeks ago. One event at the Quail Hollow is not going to throw me off.
Yep, I'm in the same boat with you there. But guys,
can I give you one other guy? Because I'm sorry.
Yeah, so absolutely.
We've been on him all year. It's 25 years to the day, or to the tournament, that John Daly was the last alternate getting into the PGA Championship with his unorthodox swing, hitting 300-yard drives, went on to win the PGA Championship. Why can't our boy Sudarshan, Yellamaraju do the same? He's 270-1. He is the last person right now in the field as an alternate. Much like John Daly, it took a bunch of crazy stuff, including Reitan winning on Sunday to get him into this field, and his game should fit well here. I mean, we saw him, another top 20 finish last week at Quail Hollow. That's his 4th just since the Players. He's finished top 35 in 6 of those 7 starts. Just great all-around game. 12th in total driving, 21st in distance, 62nd in accuracy. He's top 40 on approach and putting. I mean, just you name it. 42nd in scrambling. Also 42nd in sand save. And what I really love is the 26th in 3-putt avoidance, 29th putting inside 10 feet, and also top 20 in bogey avoidance, birdie or better percentage, and par 5 scoring. Again, you may not want to be like me and, put anything on him winning. You can get him plus 1150 to top 10 and plus 465 to top 20, which again, I think are just incredible odds for a guy that's basically finishing top 20 in deep fields every week now.
You ain't got to convince me to be on the Suter McGavin train. We know that. But guys, we are going to put our money where our mouth is. So let me adjust this screen here. We are going to go ahead and rip a fantasy spin lineup for all of you. For those who watched us a few weeks ago, you saw us use fantasy spin for the first time on the show. But fantasy spin is arguably one of my favorite ways to play DFS.
Well, yeah, it should be. You win every time I turn around. So it would be my favorite too if I won every time that I entered an event. No,
hey,
all three of us, bro.
All three of us were in the money at some point. Mike ended up being the highest finisher of us last week as a unit here. But this is a different kind of daily fantasy experience. Lets you spin your lineup, make your picks, and compete in tournaments based on real player performances. And much like a slot machine, you can hit the jackpot. It's a game that combines the skill of drafting a DFS lineup with a captivating gamified experience. You can enter contests for cash or play for free, whatever it is. Fantasy Spin has you covered. Check the link in the episode description and use promo code IBTGolf when you sign up. And if you deposit at least $10 and play at least one tournament, you will get $30 in bonus play. This supports the program directly and supports the guys over at Fantasy Spin. And it's a great team over there. And we're going to keep making some noise for the rest of the season. But we're going to do this as a collective. I am putting up 5 of my own dollars. These are not sponsored dollars. This is Jakey's winnings that he's had this year. I got to start remembering to not withdraw my winnings from the account so it looks cooler. That number up there in the top is actually how much money I have in this account. But let's go ahead and use my last main event entry as a team here. So let's go ahead and spin this. So starting us off here with the first spin. So as you'll see, they do their own projections. They rank the players. You can go off their projections or you can go off of your own projections. Does anybody want to make a convincing argument for anybody on this screen? Because I kind of just want to spin again.
First of all, 10 spins is a lot this week. So
yeah,
you don't have to be too picky.
I do like Connors and Scott a lot this week, but not for my first roll.
Yeah, I'm not locking them in early. So we'll certainly go on ahead. Another rough spin here. I get 2 PGA.
These guys are all in the field, huh?
I get 2 PGA professionals, not professional golfers, teaching professionals. I get Joaquin Neiman and my namesake, John Perry up there. Yeah, I think we're at pretty consensus here. Okay, we're starting to get some people that I have some hope in. We got Bryson, we got Sam Burns. His Satsune doesn't line up terribly for the course. Are we locking in Bryson?
I think you kind of have to take Bryson, don't you?
I think so.
For now, because you can always throw him away.
Yep. And in my other, I've maxed entries. This is my final entry for this event. I don't have a single Bryson in any of those other lineups, so I don't hate going that route. Sam Burns is a guy who pops in my model all the time, and I just can't convince myself to do it.
No.
And I'm not going to do it, is what I'm getting at. Let's see. I'm getting unlucky with these spins. These
garbage.
are brutal. Do I take Michael Block and just hope he gets a hole in one again?
Is this what I have to look forward to?
No, all of my other lineups, I was like 8 spins in and then got like Scotty Rahm as my final 2 not locked players and just locked it in.
Okay, Keith, that's the secret. You get extremely lucky.
Yeah, that is part of it. Again, nothing like
Justin Rose. If he doesn't play the golf clubs he's been playing,
if he takes McLaren out of the bag, it would be awesome. I mean, he's got arguably some of the best course history here. He was a runner-up here in 2018, winner here back in the what was that, the match play event that they used to host here, or they hosted here a couple times in the early 2010s. But yeah, we're gonna keep going. We're starting to get me a little nervous. We're getting a little okay. Russell Henley. I think we're good. We're all in agreement. We take Russell Henley.
Yeah.
Do we go Adam Scott? Do we trust the Scott bounce back? I've got 4 spins, 2
I
locks.
do for sure. I mean, again, he's just so elite.
He actually played pretty good on the weekend.
He did the same. Yeah, he
so
did the same thing he did the week before. We're really
he just
outside
was
of that real
really
bad first
bad.
round. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. 3 spins left. Kitayama, who I do really like this week.
We just talked about him at length. You can't not take him
Yeah,
after
I
all
have
of
to.
that.
I've got to do it. I got to do it. And we can, again, we have 3 spins left. We can always unlock somebody, relock a new player into the lineup, depending on what we get here.
Ooh, I
You
like
get
that.
Xander. Feel like we have to go Xander here.
Yeah. Who are you going to throw away?
I'm kind of leaning Adam Scott.
Yeah. I think you throw him. It's probably going to come back up. Let's be honest.
All right. 2 spins left. Who do we get? We get Burnsy again, Patrick Harrington, former winner of the PGA Championship.
Spin it.
And finally, we're going to end up. John Perry showed up in like half my spins, I guess, just because it's the namesake. I have to go with it. And then we also get Bud Cauley in here. You know, normally when I don't like Bud Cauley is probably when I should play him. And I don't remember seeing his name in my model as I was scrolling through it. So maybe he's going to have a good week after all. But if you haven't seen Fantasy Spin before, as you see on here, it's got your projected finish based off of their projections. You get a star rating and your total projected points as well. One of the things that we didn't talk about as well is, say tonight we get the news that Bryson DeChambeau is hurt and withdrawing from this event. He's in my lineup. I get his projected point total no matter what. So it is, you know, especially if you're doing other games such as MLB, NHL, once the NFL season comes around, they're on there as well. If players don't end up playing for whatever reason, you still get their full projected points. So still keeps you in the action, even if things don't necessarily go your way with your locks there. But again, use code IBT Golf at sign up, deposit at least $10 and enter one tournament. You will get $30 in bonus plays. And right now, especially during the, during a major week is a great time to enter. They have the hole-in-one, which is your full tournament. That's a winner take all event. You have your lucky 13s. You have a bunch of different 1v1 contests as well. So you have various different ways to play the game. And again, you can play for free. As you see in here, the practice mode, mock draft, you can just mock draft on here, or you can switch on over to the arcade mode, which uses just their coins, their in-game currency to be able to still play in the events, even if gambling is not available in your area, or you just want to be responsible with your income. So it's, again, a great option. IBT, that code IBT Golf in the description down below. Make sure to check it out. But this is not the last thing we have planned. Mike, you have a draft for us.
I do. Do we have time for this? We do have time for it. Okay.
Well, yeah, we got time. We'll make it. It won't take too long.
The production team says that we do. Okay. We did a draft. During the Masters. We had 6 categories of players we had to pick from, and we did a snake style draft. And Jake reminded me that he cleaned up in that format. So
of course he did.
I gave him, of course he did. I gave him the option in our new draft for the PGA, which spot he would want. So he did take the wraparound position. And since I finished in last place, I will draft first. You'll draft second. Actually, I should ask you that. No, you should draft first. You finished ahead of me. You should draft first. I'll draft second. Jake will draft in the wraparound spot. And I was thinking, since as our team put out the thumbnail for this video centered around the wonderful West Philadelphia Born to Play theme, I was thinking about high school sitcoms, high school movies, and I came up with the PGA Breakfast Ball Club, the Breakfast Club. And so here you go. You're going to pick from 4 categories of guys. And so we're going to run this draft quickly. The only requirements is that you have to choose 1 nerd, 1 jock, 1 student council president, and 1 drama kid for your team. Okay. No particular order. You just got to make sure you got 1 from each category. There are 4 names in each category, so there will be 1 person left on the table. Really quickly and without rationale, the nerds are Russell Henley, Aaron Rye, Denny McCarthy, and Michael Kim, UVA alumnus Denny McCarthy. The jocks, Jake Knapp, Minwoo Lee, Ricky Fowler, Wyndham Clark. And one thing, too, is I had to keep the salary ranges pretty tight here. So obviously there's some other guys, Brooks, Bryson, you want those guys in the jocks, too. Yeah. Gary would have probably been in this range. Could have worked all right. The student council presidents, no surprises on a couple of these guys. Sepp Straka, Ben Griffin, Harris English, Daniel Berger. These guys were overachievers in high school.
Fun fact, I was the student council president at Godless State University.
All right. I'd
Student
love to hear
Government
about your
association. Actually, I guess is what it was.
I'd love to hear
called,
about
but-
your platform.
Oh,
And
you
then the
were
drama
good.
kids, Sahith Theegala, Jordan Spieth, Max Homa, and the drama queen himself, Tyrrell Hatton.
I love it.
All
These are
right.
great categories.
Yeah, here we go. So Keith, you're taking the first overall pick. This is a lot. We're scraping the barrel here.
So you know where I'm going then. I'm going Russell Henley. I said he's one of my favorites to win
There you
this
go.
event.
Yep.
I'm going to take Russell Bussell.
Wonderful price. Okay, well then I'm gonna go with the other guy that we thought might have some run here, and I'll go all the way down to the drama kids, and I'll take Tyrrell Hatton.
Great picks. Definitely hurts. I'm going to have to do things I don't like to do with these picks because I feel like I just have to take Sepp Straka here. So he's going to be my first pick. And we're snaking this, correct? So I get the next pick
Yes,
as well.
you get to get the next one.
Then I have to go with elite first name haver Jake Knapp.
Yeah, Jake Knapp flying under the radar this week.
If he's healthy, he has a legit chance to win.
He's not healthy. I don't.
Depends on how his thumb is feeling.
I did not plan this far out because there's a name in the drama category I also really wanted. But I'll stick in the jocks. Ricky Fowler. I'm thankful he didn't win this last week because I think he could sneak in there this week.
Good. He certainly could.
Well, I guess I don't have to worry about the jocks right now because you guys can't pick them.
Wyndham Clark could qualify for drama kids. By
Give
the way.
me,
I just want to point that out.
Let's go with some Georgia Bulldogs here. Give me Harris English. Already got Henley. God, do I really want to not take? I just can't root for him. All right, I'm gonna go Theegala.
We'll see where Jake comes back with here. It's my turn, right?
It is. You need a nerd or a class president.
I need a nerd and a class president. Oh boy. Michael Kim. Flash last week. Roll it forward.
I like it. I hate it because I don't. The nerds had one. If I would have gone first, I would have taken Russell Henley exactly like Keith did because the rest of that tier does not inspire a ton of confidence in me. You both have your nerds. You both have drama, so I can talk this out loud. And
well, I mean, you're going to make your last two picks. You could talk it out loud anyway.
You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. This is fine. Last time I threw a dart. I wanted to live a little during the Masters, and Jordan Spieth ended up being a phenomenal pick when I did that. And this is his 10th attempt at completing the career Grand Slam. Why not this week? I got to go up to the nerds. Aaron Rai, 2 gloves, iron covers. Denny McCarthy can only putt. What do I pick? Neither preferably, but I'll go with Aaron Rai. Why not?
I think that's the right answer.
It is, unfortunately.
I think that's the right answer. And I need to fill out a student council president. I haven't talked about him much this year. Daniel Berger keeping the ball in the fairway this week.
I love it.
That's a solid pick. I will.
Minwoo or Wyndham?
Yeah, I guess I'll take Minwoo.
Really?
I wanted to go Clark, but I like the upside of Lee a little bit more.
I love it. Well, that is fun. As we did with the Masters draft, we'll make sure to keep you guys updated on the results on the next show. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As always, make sure you follow myself and the co-hosts down below on social media. Make sure to check out all of our work. Everything that we do is all posted on the Bird app or X, whichever one you want to call it at this point. But you can find Mike at Mount Koss. You can find me at Perry_FF, and you can find Keith at Keith Flemming. But this has been another week of the 19th hole, and we will see you all at our next tee.